Cinema is an ever-evolving art form, shaped by groundbreaking works that redefine its boundaries. Among such milestones stands Francis Ford Coppola's The Godfather, a film that didn't just entertain but revolutionized the way stories are told today. Through its impeccable direction, masterful cinematography, and precise editing, The Godfather set a new standard for cinematic storytelling. The opening scene, where Don Corleone listens to people asking for favors on his daughter's wedding day, is a perfect example of how to build a story without explaining it. We quickly understand the power Corleone holds, as well as the loyalty expected in his world, just through his calm and respectful demeanor. The other characters, like Amerigo Bonacera, reveal their desperation. What's brilliant about this scene is that it shows the moral code of the mafia without saying it directly. The way Don Corleone talks to people, offering help only when loyalty is shown, teaches us about the family's values. Coppola also tells the story visually. For example, Don Corleone is often filmed from a low angle to show his power and importance. In contrast, Michael Corleone is shown in a more neutral light at the beginning, but as the story progresses, he is often surrounded by shadows, reflecting his shift toward becoming a darker, more ruthless figure. The setting, costumes, and even the lighting all help tell the story. The difference between the bright wedding outside and the dark, quiet office inside reflects the contrast between family life and the business of crime. Coppola made sure to include authentic details that made the film feel real. He used Italian dialogue in key moments, like when Michael speaks Sicilian to Apollonia's father. This adds a layer of realism that makes the world feel more authentic. The traditional Italian music played at the wedding also helps set the tone. By focusing on these small details, Coppola doesn't just create a movie about the Corleones. He brings us into their world. We understand their customs and values, and we feel like we are a part of their story. Coppola's approach to direction has had a huge impact on other filmmakers like Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight. In the opening scene of The Dark Knight, Nolan uses the same kind of subtle storytelling as Coppola. The Joker's character and motives are revealed through what he does in the scene, not by telling us directly. Like in The Godfather, we learn about the character through his actions rather than through exposition. Gordon Willis, known as the Prince of Darkness, changed how filmmakers use lighting in movies with The Godfather. His use of shadows and light wasn't just about making things visible. It was a way to tell the story and show the characters' inner struggles. By using shadows and strong light contrasts, he was able to show the moral complexity of characters, especially Don Corleone. This style became a key part of the crime genre and influenced many other films. A great example of Willis's lighting is the famous "I'll make him an offer he can't refuse" scene. Here, Don Corleone is lit with dim light, casting half of his face in shadow. This is important because it represents the two sides of his character: the kind family man who cares for his children and the ruthless mob boss who is willing to use violence. The shadowed side of his face shows that there's more to him than what we see on the surface, highlighting his complicated nature. Coppola and Willis use lighting to show the emotions and mental states of the characters. Don Corleone, often in the shadows, shows a man who operates in the dark, both literally and morally. As Michael Corleone's character changes throughout the film, we see similar lighting choices that reflect his transformation from an innocent outsider to someone who becomes consumed by the world of crime. Willis's use of lighting with shadows influenced many other filmmakers, especially in crime films like Martin Scorsese's Goodfellas. Scorsese used similar lighting to show how the characters' mental states affect their actions. In the scenes where Henry Hill starts to feel paranoid, the lighting becomes more intense, with sharp contrast between light and dark reflecting his disturbed mind. And even in Matt Reeves' The Batman, Reeves uses shadows in a similar way to show the dark side of Gotham and its troubled hero, Batman. The way Batman is often surrounded by shadows emphasizes his complex and sometimes tragic character. The editing in The Godfather played a huge role in making the film so impactful. Editor William Reynolds used smooth transitions and clever editing to enhance the story, helping us understand complex themes. By putting together contrasting scenes, he added a deeper meaning to the story. One of the most famous examples of this is the baptism scene. In this moment, Michael Corleone is at his nephew's baptism, where he publicly renounces Satan and vows to live a good life. At the same time, through editing, we see Michael secretly planning and carrying out a series of murders to strengthen his power in the mafia. The contrast between the holy act of baptism and the violent murders makes a strong statement about Michael's character. The editing shows how Michael, while outwardly appearing good and righteous, is actually involved in brutal and immoral actions. This highlights the theme of duality, how Michael is both a family man and a ruthless mob boss. The editing makes us feel the weight of his choices, showing how he is losing his humanity. The editing style in The Godfather had a big impact on other filmmakers like Quentin Tarantino. He used a similar approach in Pulp Fiction. Tarantino's film tells its story in a non-linear way, with scenes out of order, but the emotional weight of these moments is strengthened by how they're edited together. Much like The Godfather's baptism scene, Tarantino uses editing to connect different events and show the inner struggles of the characters. Before The Godfather, crime films usually showed gangsters as simple bad guys with little depth. They were often portrayed as violent criminals with no real personality or backstory. However, Coppola's version of Mario Puzo's novel changed all of that. He made the characters more human, showing their struggles with loyalty, family, and morality, rather than just focusing on their crimes. One of the most powerful examples of this change is Michael Corleone. At the start of the film, Michael is a war hero who doesn't want anything to do with his family's mafia business. He tries to stay away from the violence and crime his family is involved in. But as the story unfolds, he is pulled deeper into the world of organized crime after his family faces tragedy. This layered portrayal paved the way for morally ambiguous protagonists like Tony Montana in Scarface and Walter White in Breaking Bad. Besides its strong characters, The Godfather also showed that genre films, like crime dramas, could be both entertaining and artistically valuable. Before this, crime films were often seen as simple entertainment, exciting but not necessarily thoughtful. The Godfather changed this by combining a thrilling crime story with deep character development and meaningful themes, a balance later achieved by the Dark Knight trilogy and Mad Max Fury Road. The Godfather wasn't just a film, it was a revolution. Coppola's vision, combined with Willis's cinematography and Reynolds' editing, crafted a timeless film that continues to inspire filmmakers today. It proved that cinema could be art, blending storytelling, visuals, and emotion into something greater. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.